Alright guys, let's talk about the three-man rotation here. So then we're going to talk about the three-man rotation technique of team driving. Now, first of all, let's just talk about what kind of guys we want in our trucks with us. We want drivers, when we hire a co-driver, we want to make sure that that driver wants to be an owner-operator, just like you are. He wants to be an owner-operator. Because what you're doing is you're training him to be an owner-operator, and as long as you train him, and as long as you help him build up enough money to where he can put down the deposit and the startup and cover the startup costs, then he will get a truck, and you will get 10% of that money. And we will manage that guy, and you just sit back and collect a 10% check. So make sure that, now these are the requirements. These are the requirements that they've got to have. They've got to be, in order for me to put them in a truck by themselves that you can collect the 10% on, this is what they've got to do. They've got to be experienced enough. So you can't have a brand new guy jump in the truck. But experienced enough is just what you think. If he's experienced enough, he's not going to wreck the truck. He's going to do a good job out there. He just kind of knows what's going on enough. And he has to be able to cover startup costs. This is a big one. He's got to be able to cover the startup costs. So how are you going to do that? Well, this is the main idea what we have. When the truck makes $1,500, let's just say the truck makes $1,500. So that's a split. You're making $1,500. That means that you get $1,000 and the co-driver gets $500. Okay, because that's a 33-67 split. Now, the idea is this. Talk to your co-driver when you hire him and say, hey, look, this is a job, you're going to get experience, but the main goal is that after you get experience, you have enough money to cover your startup costs so that you don't have to be a co-driver anymore. You can be an owner-operator. Now, how do you do that? Well, the easiest way to do that is to set aside $200 every week, and you've got to talk to your co-driver about that. Talk to him about setting aside $200 every single week. And if he does $200 for every single week for 4 months, 200 times 20 weeks in 4 months, it'll be a little bit more than 4 months. It's $4,000. And if he can earn $4,000 and set it aside, now granted he's in the truck taking home $300, so he's taking home he's keeping to himself $50 a day so that he can live in the truck. I mean, that's $50 for food and whatever he needs to do for 4 months. He lives off of this for 4 months. He sets aside the $200 a day for 4 months. Then he has $5,000 or $4,000, and he's ready to get inside that truck. Now, what that'll do is after we put him inside that truck, and after his startup costs are paid off, and we don't know what the startup costs are. Typically, startup costs are right around $6,500. But after his startup costs are paid off, if he makes $1,500 to the truck, he'll pay his co-driver $500. And then he'll make $1,000. Now, of that $1,000, 10% of it, or $100, goes towards you, and $900 of it goes towards him. Now, in reality, this $1,500 is just what we're getting right now. So, once you guys pay off your startup costs, and once he pays off his startup costs, which will be right at the beginning, you won't be making only $1,500 a week. You'll be making that $1,500 plus the 6 cents per mile plus the fuel discounts that we've just got. So we've got the 3 cents in fuel discounts that we just got, and then you'll have this other 6 that'll go towards that. So if you're driving 5,000 miles every single week times an extra 9 cents, that's an extra $450 per week. So you're actually going to be taking, once you get your 6 cents paid off, you should be able to take home pretty easily $2,000 to the truck a week. So that would put you in the neighborhood of, if you train this guy, you train the guy the way that it's supposed to be done, he can earn $2,000 for his truck, pay his co-driver $500. This is bad. I'm going to do this again. $500. Then you will then the guy that you trained will take home $1,500, and that's $150 for you, and $1,350 for him. And everybody's happy. Everybody's making good money right there. So that's why it's so important that we don't get into the trucks before we pay off the startup cost. Because one of the main things that we're seeing right now is that some of you guys think, hey, I'm not making that much money, when in reality you are making the extra money. It's just 6 cents a mile is going towards paying off the startup costs, because nobody had the money saved up to put up the startup costs, so I had to put it down. So once we get that paid off, we should be making right around here, or maybe even higher. As we get better, hopefully we'll be making more. So, but under the scenarios and under the miles that we're being able to achieve right now, and the fuel economy that we're being able to get, we would easily be making $2,000, and some of you guys would be making $2,500 or more. So let's talk about the 3-man rotation. The 3-man rotation is a little bit of a give and take. The give is that the owner-operator and everybody in the truck doesn't make quite as much money. But the take is that everybody gets a little bit more rest. You don't have to spend your 100% of all of your time in the truck. So how it works is this. Instead of having a 2-man team, you have a 3-man team. But one of the team members is always at home. So let's just break it down on a 3-week basis. You have week 1, week 2, and week 3. Now, under the regular way, which we're doing right now, I'll call this regular. Week 1, the owner-operator takes, let's say, and this is let's just base it off of $1,500, because let's just pretend like everybody's still paying off their 6 cents a mile. And so you're taking, it's $1,500. This is all based off of $1,500. So I'll just do this right here, $1,500. See, $1,500, all right there. So the owner-operator takes, we'll say owner-operator, and then co-driver. So after week 1, the owner-operator, split it up, took $1,000, and the co-driver took $500, and that adds up to $1,500. Week 2, $1,000, $500. Week 3, $1,000, $500. Now, under the 3-man team, 3-man, it would be a little bit different. Owner-operator and a co-driver. But now, there's a third co-driver. We'll say co-driver 1 and co-driver 2. Right there. So, under this scenario, week 1 is the same for the owner-operator. $1,000, and the co-driver gets $500. The only difference is co-driver 2 gets 0. Okay. Week 2, same for the owner-operator. Different for co-driver 1. He is off, so he gets 0. Co-driver 2 gets $500. Now here's the difference. On week 3, instead of splitting it 67-33, you split it to where the owner-operator gets 10% of the money. So you get $150 for the owner-operator. But the co-drivers split what's left over. So that's 45% each. So that's 90% between the both of them. So they take $1,350 and split it in half. So that's $675 for co-driver 1 and $675 for co-driver 2. So at the end of the week, at the end of 3 weeks, what's the difference now? Well, the end of 3 weeks right here, and I probably put these. I'm gonna move these over here a little bit so I can have some totals. So 500, 150, 675, and 675. Erase this, and we'll make this a total column right here. So totals. Now, total at the end of 3 weeks, nobody got a rest here, and you made $3,000, and the co-driver made $1,500. Now, at the end of the second scenario, the owner-operator made $2,150. Co-driver 1 made $1,175. And co-driver 2 also made $1,175. So what happened here is this. You only worked you worked 2 weeks, and then you got a week off. Now, your pay went down $850 over the course of 2 weeks, or over the course of 3 weeks. So per week, your pay went down just a little bit under $300 per week, but you're still making good money. Now, the co-drivers, they, instead of making $500 per week to make $1,500, they made somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 per week. So they took about I think I did that right. I hope I did that right. 1350. I did. Yeah. So they made in the neighborhood of about $400 a week. So most co-drivers are willing to work for about $400 a week, especially if you say, hey, look, 1 week you get $400 per week and you're not even driving. So what it is you get a break, you made $0, then you made $500 driving with your senior team member who's teaching, and then $675 for a week of work. So really, it's good. You can look at it both ways. You can say, hey, look, I have the opportunity to make more per week doing it this way, but I also have a week where I can get out of the truck. So this is a better scenario for people who want to get out of the truck every now and then, a third of the time. But if you want to make the extra money, then this would be the better scenario. So if you want to do if you're interested in the 3-man rotation, and $2,150 under the scenario is enough for you to live, and we can find co-drivers. I know we can find co-drivers that'll work for $500 a week and then take a week off and then get $675 on weeks that they're not working. Then this is the good way to go. The other good thing about the 3-man rotation that we don't talk about a whole lot is the fact that you are training 2 co-drivers at the same time. Here at the end of 4 months, you'll have one experienced co-driver. Here, if they can tuck the money away, see, it's hard to tuck the money away because you're not, over the course of 3 weeks, you could have tucked away $300 more under this scenario as a co-driver. But if you can sacrifice and you can tuck the money away, then at the end of 4 months, you'll have 2 trained co-drivers that you can put into 2 trucks. So you're building for your retirement faster under the 3-man rotation, and you're taking breaks while you're doing it. Under this situation, you're making more money up front, but you're building your fleet at only half the rate. So take a look at it, see what you think, and let your fleet manager know how you want us to handle it. But we can put together these 3-man rotations for you pretty easy. Thanks, guys.